Whoa. Sorry. There was an ad for Blossom. So I immediately go to Joy Lawrence. Because why wouldn't you, right? When in doubt. Whoa. Hello, welcome in. We're going to get cutting in a second here. I'm just trying to get that put down. All right. So today we're going to be cutting walnut. This is 5/8 inch walnut. Oh, that's not going to work. So we got two here. We're just breaking them apart. Hey guys, welcome in. So we got about another eight to cut out the in between them, and then we'll start individually cutting them out. This black walnut is just gorgeous. All right, we've gotten to that, so let's start individually cutting them out. So yeah, these are two separate arms, and then in the center we're going to cut that out, and then it's basically a mortise, and they'll slide together. All right, we're going to peel off the pattern here. I use blue painter's tape and then spray adhesive on the patterns. That way I have a fresh pattern for every one. All right, is the audio working now, guys? It looks like it was shut off. Very odd. Normally I have chat, but chat translation is on. Community moderation, live chat's on. Anybody? Weird. Alright. Hello. It is a Pegasus 21-inch scroll saw. Not a problem. I also have the new, well, it's not really new, it's like over a year old now, but the Bauer saw, the new one from Harbor Freight, and they also have a 16-inch buck tool, all double parallel arm saws. So this one is set up really low to the ground and at a steep angle. So if I set stuff on, it'll slide off. So I've got a very comfortable computer chair that I sit. The Bauer's holding up great. It honestly is. When I make recorded videos, that's when I tend to use. It's just the stand is flat. But yeah, it works good. When I make beginner videos, I'm using either the Bauer or the buck tool. I don't use this one when I'm making videos, just because I don't want people to think they have to spend, $1,000 on a saw, to start out with. So yeah, the Bauer I've had no issues with at all. So, let's see. I've had this one since April of 2022. So, it's been, 4 years pretty much, and I haven't had any issues at all with this saw. I had to replace my tension knobs, and I put a refresher kit on that. But other than that, yeah, it's been good. So we are trying our best to bust out a bunch of inventory. In about a month, we're going to have 3 shows pretty much back to back. 3 weekends in a row. So first one's going to be in Madison, Wisconsin. They have a big alpaca show. We're going to do that. And then after that, there's a show in Chicago. And then the week after that, we're going to be in Minnesota. So should be fun. That pattern off. We're just going to take our square, set it down. So I'm just verifying that we're cutting square, which we are. Sometimes if you go too fast, you put a lot of, especially if you're going on an angle, you're gonna put a lot of pressure on this blade, and that blade can actually start cutting kind of at an angle, and that's not what you want. see how nice of a finish we're getting off the saw? See if we can move this back a little bit. If that will help or not. Hello! How's Alex doing? Welcome in. So I do have dust collection on this saw, but I don't use it. That's what these holes are for. The reason I don't use it is I don't want to have to do a vacuum cleaner running all the time. And I'm also in a workshop, so I'm not too concerned. You know, if I was in the house, I'd probably run on it. Yeah, this black walnut is just so chocolatey, and it's dense. So this is not steamed. A lot of times they will steam black walnut to try to get the sapwood to be darker colored. Hey, D. Hello, Wales. We are making drop spindles. These are Turkish-style drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. I made up a sign, but I keep knocking it. I guess I could put it up here if there's any stickum left. I guess we could get a piece of tape. So it's been a long day. So it's currently 3:19 p.m. here. What time do we get to the shop today, honey? Was it 8?
Well, it's not scalding hot because I forgot about it, but it's not cold either, so you're good.
Ooh. Thank you, honey.
You're welcome. If you want to put it.
I put it back here so it doesn't get full of sawdust. Sorry, I was just delivered a cappuccino. And we did have a 3D printer finish up, so we'll come back here and start cutting again. Ooh, we got a couple things done. So we got a whole bunch of little sheep here. So when people order stuff from me, I give them a little sheep. And at shows, we also give them away. Hello, welcome in. We're just gonna get these printers running. So. That's one way to do it. Okay. And then on these, we're printing some dragons. They look like that when they're done. We'll go put this away. And there we go. So if you're new to the stream, welcome in. My name is Scott. Making it with Scott, I do a lot of beginner to intermediate, a lot of scroll saw projects, lathe projects. I do some reviews as well. So the live streams, this is my day job. I run Snyder Spindles, where I make drop spindles and other fiber tools. So we're getting ready for a bunch of festivals. So that's what we're doing today and tomorrow and the next day and pretty much probably the rest of my life. All right. So we're using a number 7 blade, which is pretty aggressive, just because we're cutting a lot of big swooping lines here. These are Olson precision ground tooth blades. They are not inexpensive, but they do a good job. So I think it's pretty obvious I'm running the saw off a foot pedal. That way I can have both of my hands on the work, and I am saving wear and tear on the switch, the power switch on the saw. This saw is, the switch is good. It has like a rubberized cover on it, so you're not getting dust into it. DeWalt and Delta scroll saws are notorious. I would go through switches like crazy on those. It got to the point where I would use the switch until it broke, then I would just bypass it and use the pedal. So I've been using the scroll saw. I started in 1987. Okay, now these are minis. These are much smaller. These happen to be cherry. And the reason why I act like I'm surprised, my partner lays these out. She drills the hole. So sometimes it's a mystery. It's hypnotic. So the nice part about the scroll saw is it's a relatively safe saw. Yeah, you can cut yourself on it, but you're not going to have to go get stitches. It makes Band-Aid cuts. I'll usually draw blood maybe 2 times a year. Usually it happens when a piece of wood has a split in it that I don't see. And then I'll be cutting and all of a sudden it'll just push through onto my thumb. Or sometimes the blade will break and then it'll basically like tattoo me. But I spend a lot of time on this. So hey Jace, how's it going? Welcome in. All right, now we're to the black walnut. Yeah, so typically when I'm cutting, I'll have a TV show going in the background, or I'll be listening to music or something. But YouTube doesn't like that, so I have to not share that. They don't like the music, copyrighted material. Yeah, so all these, we have to cut out these mortises as well. So I'm just going through everything that's laid out and cutting the outsides out. And then we'll come back and start cutting out the inside stuff. So the scraps I'm making, I burn those in my fireplace at home. So nothing goes to waste. That's the biggest thing. So even when I have little pieces like this, that piece actually might be a little bit small, but I'll make little things like this. These are little shelf sitters, so, you know, they're cute. So, you know, this piece is a little small, but, you know, even this size, you know, if I can turn this into a buck or two rather than burning it, why not? So now we have, these are mini gliders. So this one, the arms are stacked on top of each other. So I make one cut through, and then I cut these two pieces apart. So this one is faster. And Pat, I'm sorry. Hello. Hopefully that was not 10 minutes ago. I've been kind of in my own little world here. Pop this one off. Take a look. It's cutting nice and square. peel that pattern off. So the reason I use blue painter's tape is it's easy to see. If I'm cutting like maple, if I'm using normal masking tape, it blends in. And then you don't notice until you hit it on the electric sander and it makes a mess. So that's why we use blue. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Friday. It is Friday, right? Yeah. Yeah. So Vicky told me today that, Fridays aren't nearly as exciting when you're self-employed and you have to work on Saturdays. She has a point. Hello, N. Welcome in. On a positive note, what are drop spindles? Drop spindles came before spinning wheels. So you use them to spin yarn. So there's a shaft that goes through here, and then these two arms will be together through there. Or I could just show you one. That is not sanded yet, but that's what they look like. So you take wool and then you spin it into yarn like that. So this is a very portable way of making your own yarn. So I've been making these full time for the last 13 years. I sell these on Etsy and I have a Shopify account as well. We do some limited wholesaling to yarn stores. And we also vend at festivals. So we're getting ready. We got 3 festivals coming up in a month. Back to back to back weekends. So. How the heck do I sell so frickin' many? Well, these are inventory, so these are going to go to shows with me. Like I said, I've been doing it for 13 years, more than 13. So, you know, you build up a reputation over time. Well... Let me grab my phone real quick. If I can remember what I did with it. So that's my shop on Etsy. You can see that I've had over 27,000 sales on Etsy in the last 12 years. So, you know, I sell worldwide, and it's one of the things where, you know, if you have a big one, you might want a smaller one. You know, different sizes make different yarns. So, and some people collect them. Yeah. So spinning is kind of a progression. You start out like crocheting or knitting, and then you want more control over your products. So then you could spin your own yarn for that. So I primarily sell spindles, but I do make other things, you know. I make stitch markers and a bunch of other little things, loose sets. Hello, welcome in, S. How's it going? Hello, Australia! How's Melissa doing today? So just a mere, let's see, 3 months away from these door handles. They're Turkish spindles for spinning yarn. So there's only 3 months until Australia's sheep and wool. Which is in Bendigo. They would make nice door handles. I agree with you. And these are black walnuts. Ooh, it's gold country? I guess you'd have to go, kind of west to get more into opal country. So I'm guessing Bendigo is more kind of in the sheep part of the country too. Got big merino sheep running around. With their little red keisters. Who do I market these spindles to? They're for people who spin yarn. So fiber artists, people who crochet and knit and want to get into making their own yarn. Spinning wheels are expensive. This is a more economical way to start. And it's kind of weird because, like, there's two big spinning wheel companies that are out of New Zealand. I don't know of any big spinning wheel companies in Australia themselves. Yeah. New Zealand has Ashford and Majacraft, which are pretty big companies that make spinning wheels. If I stop smacking that. Maybe you just gotta make them way far away from drop bears. I wouldn't say a monopoly, but yeah, they're pretty big. Yeah, this is a scroll saw. So this one has a little reciprocating blade that goes up and down, where a bandsaw will be like one big blade that spins around. I don't know. Maybe you know. Oh no. Oh what? I'm live streaming. Sitting there swearing. I've been making these full time for the last 13 years. Oh, there's a story coming. Do you got something to share, honey?
Did you see what was on TV?
No. Oh no.
Did you hear what I said?
Oh hell no.
Did they hear what I said?
I don't know.
Did you hear what I first said? No, I said, oh, no.
Okay, so yeah, she's watching some paranormal stuff and there's some like demon in a pile of teddy bears.
The cloud popped up and I went.
Yeah. Nope.
Yeah, and that scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, so we've been doing this for 13 years. So. It gets worse. That's not good. What else do I make? Honestly, I make a lot of fiber tools. Lots of spindles. It's gotten to the point where that's the majority of what I make. But you know, I'll make little toys and stuff too. Stamps. I do laser engraving and 3D printing and CNC work as well as the hand stuff. So I'll make little trays, and a lot of stuff is very fiber tool oriented. But on occasion, I'll make decorative stuff like these signs. But was this in your family? No, it was not. I kind of fell into this. I was on Etsy making those wooden signs and toys, lots of toys. And one of my friends on Etsy asked me to make her a spindle, and then I had to learn how to spin to test it, and I fell in love with it. So. And there you go. Door handles are us. Yeah. I mean, on Etsy, I used to get requests to do I did a whole bunch of numbers for hotel doors for some hotel in California. I made a bunch of ampersands for kids to decorate that Nike bought. Um, yeah, I've done some signage for some companies throughout the years, but yeah, this is kind of nice. Maybe I need to move to Australia and make door handles. I do like those fan candies. Those are pretty good. I think the strangest thing about Australia is the fact that you guys, in America, your band AC/DC, we call AC/DC, we do not call it Akadaka. Although Akadaka is a lot cooler. Akadaka. We've got 2 more outsides to cut. Hey Bruce, how's it going? Give everything a nickname. I gotcha. Hey Archie, welcome in. We're hanging out on the scroll saw today, guys. If you're just joining us, we were cutting out Turkish drop spindles. We're making the arms today. I've got two more. We're going to cut out the outside, and then we're going to start cutting out the mortises on the inside. So yours would be, hey Scott, no friends. Yeah, that works for me. Man, I just try to be as cool as Paul Hogan, and it just never works out. I gotta drill a hole. I missed a hole. Not uptight. Well, when you're being attacked by cockatoos all the time, eating your cars. Pulling the weather stripping off off your windows in your car. Hey, you stop that. We're going to lay out these mortises. I bet. What are you going to do about it? Huh? 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 I'm a big white bird with a yellow crest. Hello, welcome in. How is Moose doing? Oh, we're talking about Australia and how they've got like wild cockatoos that just destroy people's cars, and they like pulling the weather stripping off the windows and they break a lot of stuff. Right? I could be putting Legos together. That seems to be pretty popular. And Australia has really, really cute possums, too. Unlike our opossums. Oh, they're cute, too, honestly. There's a kookaburra outside your house. I assume you have an old gum tree out there. From what I hear, kookaburras like old gum trees. Oh, laugh, kookaburra, laugh. That would take some getting used to. So when I cut out these mortises, hey Kiki, you made it. I'll try my best not to be psychotic. Hello, 92. Welcome in. So Australia is also getting spanked by high gas prices right now, right? Oh, I don't know about that. $3 a liter, that's crazy. Well, you're how high are your standards? Nah. Oh, it's crazy, man. You know, here diesel used to be less expensive than gasoline, and over the last 5 years, it's gone the other way. Which, you know, all the semis, or Lowries as we like to call them, run off diesel, so the price of everything goes up. You use LPG in your car. You fill up the tank today. It's less than forward. Is that euros? Right. Yeah, we I used to make some natural gas cement mixers when I used to work at a vehicle manufacturer. But those were very few and far between. And it sucked because they didn't have the gas piped in. They would have cylinders on a cart behind the vehicle. So I'd have to go up there and hook, God, I want to say, was it 12 tanks up to the one vehicle? Trying to think what else fun and exciting is going on. It's actually starting to get nice. Most of the snow is gone. We still have some snow in snowbanks, although we had a possibility of getting light snow today, but I don't think that ever happened. I haven't looked outside lately, but show me the 10-day forecast. Yeah. So we're actually doing pretty good. I'm excited. We're going to be in the low 60s. And that's my cat. That is Jordy, aka Jordy Bear. He's a big boy. And then we have another, we got a female that's very similar in coloration, except for she's got a little bit more orange in her. And her name is Luna, because she came with that name. Both of them were feral. So Jordy we fostered because he was such a jerk. Like, why don't you just foster him? Don't pay for him, just take him home. It took him quite a while to get out of his shell, but he's fine now. He's a big lug. Just as long as you don't put him in the car carrier, you're good. I'd like to bring him into the shop, but we've got a new couch in here, and I don't want him destroying the... Jodie Foster. Yes, that too. I named him after Jodie Foster. More like Geordie LaForge from Star Trek: The Next Generation. So his original name was George, and we renamed him Geordie. I'll love him and kiss him and name him George. So I taught Jordy how to sit. So he'll sit on command. But Luna, I haven't had the time to work with her on it, so she doesn't know how to. And Jordy just gives me a look like, you make me sit down to get treats, but then you just give her treats without doing that. Life's not fair, kitty cat. Life's not fair. Luna just thinks that, I have to press down on her backside in order for her to get treats. No, you sit down on your own and then you get treats. Yeah, they're both fixed, and they both have all their claws. I don't declaw. It's just... I think it's kind of cruel. Granted, I did get cat scratch fever off them. And I don't know what sweaty Uncle Ted Nugent was talking about. That's horrible. How often do I go live? Usually 2 to 3 times a week. I really don't have a set schedule. So if you want to hang out with me, the best bet would be to follow and ring the bell. You can always shut off the notifications if you want to. No. Honey? Probably got headphones on. So yeah, usually 2 to 3 times a week. The next month it's probably going to be daily, just because I've got so much to do. Like when I'm doing this, I'm more productive if I'm live streaming, even though I'm sitting here talking. I appreciate the follow. Like tomorrow I'm probably going to be on the lathe making the shafts for these. And the reason I was yelling is we just got a wholesale order. It's that time of year. Hey, Belle, how's it going? Welcome in. So if you guys are just joining us, we are making Turkish drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. So this is what came before spinning wheels and way before the Industrial Revolution. Yeah, when things settle down, I'll get back into making project videos, except for... Yeah. We knew we had 2 festivals, and then we decided that we weren't going to do a festival, and apparently we changed our mind and we paid for the booth. So now we have three festivals in a row. So we're gonna have to build some inventory pretty quick. Nope. Gotta start a printer again. Or 3 3D printers. So this is a nitty knotty. So you'd have 2 identical arms and you wrap yarn around that. So we're gonna reprint so that we can get 2 of these arms. I'll put this one on the stand. But did this kind of spindle originally came from Turkey? Yes. The sizes that I make are more Mediterranean size, like you would find them more like in Italy. These tiny ones. A lot of the Turkish ones were very large. So at shows, I give away these little sheep. We also make stitch markers out of them for knitters and crocheters. And we also make earrings out of these as well. So this is where I use my old 3D printers. Because they're dialed in, they can make little stuff. The quality is the same as the newer printers, it just takes longer. And this one's just about done. So the one over here, I do 12 at what time? Yeah, my bamboos are over here. So this is an A1 mini. And then these 2 are X1 carbons. So I'm currently making dragons on these. Because people are still buying dragons. So on this printer, I'm making 1 at a time. And the reason for that is if I have a small roll of filament, if I run out of filament, I'm not wasting an entire bed. For this one, I made 12 at one time. My fastest printers would be the X1 carbons. But the A1 Mini is pretty quick as well. Once it starts up. Alright, we've got like 2 minutes left on Engelbert. So I started out with Ultimaker 2s way back in the day. And those were great printers. And you know, I had a few Enders. And this is the last one I have. This is an Ender 3 V2 S1, which has the Sprite extruder on it, so it's direct drive. So the filament is being pushed right here, where a lot of the older Enders had a big Bowden tube, so one of these tubes, and then it would be pushed way back here. Where these are all direct drive now. Yeah, the A1 Mini's a decent printer for the price. Okay, so this one's done. So the older printers, I use skirts. So I print little loops around what I'm actually making. So the main reason I do that is that makes sure that it's purged. So I'm making sure the filament's ready to go. All right. So here we go. So you can see the outline of what I was making. So it's a pretty quick printer. So that first layer is looking pretty good. Oh no, there's aliens. I knew it. So I'm just verifying the holes are centered. So I'm flipping the arms around the other direction. And they look good. Yeah, so the X1 carbons, they're retired now. But I got a few years out of those. I don't make a lot of multicolored prints. I make a lot of single colored prints, so. You know, the X1 carbons, I had the AMS, so I can do 4 colors per print. But it's really not my thing. I was thinking about getting the H2D because I want to incorporate different filaments on one thing. So I want to be able to print TPU and PLA together, which you can't do on what I have now. So, and you know, that's just because I want to make spindles and then have TPU in the middle, kind of to when you push the wooden shaft in, it would hit the rubberized material. Yeah, I would highly suggest not getting the laser engraver that's built into it, or the Cricut machine, the fancy cutter. Um, my laser engravers, they're so filthy. I wouldn't want to 3D print in the same box that I'm laser engraving in. I mean, I tend to stick away from all-in-one machines that can do everything, because they can do everything but not well. Keep buying more and more stuff. But, if you buy, you know, the 3D printer, that's also a laser engraver, that's also, a fancy cutter. Yeah. You could do one thing at a time. Where if you had, let's say, a little laser engraver and a 3D printer, you can run two things at a time. I mean, if you're gonna buy a laser engraver, if you're gonna get a cheap one, that a cheap little open gantry one, buy a enclosure for it and vent it to outside. You don't want to be breathing that stuff in. It's horrible.
So the yellow is what we need for Ivan.
We have the rest of them? Just one?
2. Space Sheep and Oklahoma.
One of each?
Yeah, one of each, yeah.
Okay, I have the Oklahoma State one. I got the world made already.
Mm-hmm.
So just one space sheep. Do we have a space sheep in the... No?
I looked and I didn't
Okay,
find
that's
it, no.
fine. That's fine.
So otherwise I've been able to pull the rest of it between the rack
Everything
and
else.
everything
Yeah,
else.
yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
He
Yeah.
had Celtic on there twice and I let him know. I'm like, do you want to? He's like, no, that was a mistake. I'm like, okay, so that's cool.
All right. Yeah, I'll get... Yeah, I just said over the
Over there?
laser.
Yeah.
I'll laser engrave those tomorrow.
So, all right, and I got everything situated as far as like all of our wholesale orders and what,
Archie, we'll catch you later.
and as far as like the list and stuff of things that we need.
Right. Like all the top rolls over there need staining.
Yeah, and I think I'll do that.
Well, I can do that tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah.
The other little top rolls are drying, so I'll get those made tomorrow as well.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we'll be done with wholesale orders for a little bit.
Hopefully.
It's like we don't get wholesale orders until like, oh, we got to build inventory for a show, and then they all come dumping in.
And they seem to come dumping in like right after North Carolina. It just seems
Well,
to-
it's everybody's. That's when everybody starts getting ready for their shows
Yeah.
too.
Yep,
so.
yep, yep. So, but yeah. Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, we're not complaining about wholesale orders. It's just the timing. Really? I'm zoomed out all the way? Maybe I gotta go back a little further. There we go. That way I won't bump you guys. Cha-ching. Nice. Peel it off. Two more of the big ones. What time is it? Okay, it's almost 5. Like, why am I getting hungry? Well, it's almost 5 o'clock. So last night for dinner, I made sausage gravy and biscuits. I did use refrigerated biscuits, so I did kind of cheat, but I did make the gravy, the sausage gravy from scratch. And then we had enough where we had it for breakfast again, which is actually really good. You know, the gravy needed some, extra milk, and it got there. And then we still have 2 biscuits left, so those will be for breakfast tomorrow. And I still have some of the sausage left, like a half pound of that, so I could make patties, like make breakfast sandwiches out of them. That might work. Thinking maybe I'll make green pepper soup tonight. Hey, 51, how's it going? We make a lot of soup in the Instant Pots. Does a good job. And we're the weirdos that have 2 Instant Pots. We got a big one and a small one. Small one is basically a rice cooker. All right. Oh, shit, let me keep this. I just dropped a bunch of stuff. Well, the good news is nothing's cut as far as the middles go, so I can pair these up with whatever. If that was the worst thing that happens to me today, I think we're doing pretty good. Hello! How's Anthony doing? Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, this past week I started streaming. I think this is my 3rd day in a row. Yeah. So, we were getting ready for that show in Raleigh, North Carolina. That was 2 weekends ago. Good show. Everything went superb. And then we had a blizzard while we were away. So, We got dumped on. We got like a foot of snow, but it's pretty much gone now. But they closed. We couldn't get to the shop because they had a state of emergency, so they had no parking on the streets, and we don't. We only have street parking here. So we got back into town on Monday, and then we couldn't get back into the shop until Wednesday. You finally got electricity in the shop? Awesome. Nice. Electricity's a nice thing to have. So it sounds like you're getting progress in your shop. Right. Electricity just makes things a little bit faster. I've been talking about this a lot, but for some reason we decided not to do a show in Madison, and apparently we decided at the show to do the show, so we already paid for the booth space. So now instead of having 2 shows back-to-back weekends, which is like asking a lot, now we have 3 shows back-to-back. So the first one is in Madison, so it's about an hour away. The second one is going to be in Chicago, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours away. And then the third one is in Minnesota, which is like 2.5 hours away. So they're close. So it's like we don't have to, stay in a hotel, the night after the show. We can just pack out and come home. So that's gonna save us some money. Minnesota, we're gonna tent camp. So you just set up it. You got an oil-filled electric heater in there. Nice. So you don't have to worry about suffocating. Right. If I remember right, you have a small garage. I'd be very concerned about burning anything. Yeah, my little shop, I had an electric heater on the ceiling, one of those garage heaters. The ones with the tubes. I can't think what they're called. Because it doesn't take long to burn up all the oxygen in a little room. Hey, honey. She's got her headphones in. And then she ran away. See if I can pause that. Nope. Hey, babe.
Yeah.
Can we make green pepper soup or tortilla soup tonight?
We have to go get the stuff.
That's not a big deal.
Yeah, either one.
Yeah. I mean, probably, let's do green pepper and then just, are we gonna have to get more rice?
No, we should have.
You said we had a half a container.
Yeah, then we should be fine, because all we need is 1 cup of rice.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that. Did you want to make it till 6 or you want to call it at 5?
Let's probably call it at 5.
Alright.
Or, I'm actually not done with the update yet.
Alright. 5:30?
Yeah, 5.
Well, let me know when you're done with the update.
Okay.
Yeah. And she's gone. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, those are good. Yep, they look like a radiator with a plug. Because in fact, they're a radiator with a plug. Blade size, this is actually a number 7. It's a number 7 Olson precision ground tooth blade. We are cutting 5/8 inch black walnut. As far as the Olson blade goes, I like the Mach Speed, and then these are the precision ground teeth. I also like Super Sharps, PS Wood Machine Super Sharps. And then I have a full array of Nikwa, which are Flying Dutchman, and the Mach Speed blades. You're tired, yeah, me too. When Vicky gets done with the update, I'm out of here. We're gonna go and buy some ingredients and make some soup. The nice part about using the Instant Pot is it doesn't take long. The quantity of teeth per. It is. Looks like it's 10 5/8 teeth per inch. Oh, garlic does sound good. So not quite 11. But it is a modified geometry blade. Hoping you... And it's a double skip tooth. So you can see how it's 2 teeth, skip, 2 teeth, 2 skip, 2 teeth, skip, tooth, teeth. And it's also a reverse tooth blade. So these are, the bottom are pointing up and then the rest are all pointing down. Have to look up black garlic. It's fermented. Oh, I bet that's good. There we go. It's a nice little mortise. So does that come in like a paste? Or do you get like rotten garlic cloves? I mean fermented garlic clove. You can just eat it. Nice. Yeah, I'm sorry I'm so quiet. It's been a long day. I think we'll make 1 or 2 more and then call it a stream. Now we got 2 hours in. Wasn't too bad. Could have been worse. Yeah, we're getting a... You know, this is walnut. You can see the sun bounce, the light bouncing off it. Very little sanding. You know, walnut tends to be a little bit porous. But yeah. Sanding's the enemy. Yeah, so I'll sand these with a flap sander. Will you get something similar with softwood like pine? Well, it all depends on the pores. You know, pine tends to be a little bit more... Let me grab a chunk of pine, hang on. So there's a little piece of pine. We'll just do a wavy line. You know, it's smooth, but you can see how it is not as smooth as the other wood. It's just because, you know, pine has a much bigger pores to it. So. You know, I've cut a lot of that pine that they grow in Australia. Can't think what they call it. That cuts a lot nicer. It's got smaller pores. All right, guys. I think we're going to call it a stream. Oh. It's like I worked a full day today. What the heck? All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll try to stream tomorrow, probably noon my time, so Eastern Standard Time. To put things into perspective, it's 5 p.m. my time right now. So thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you next time. Have a great day. Yeah, eucalyptus is also very good for burning, for causing fires, yeah. All right, guys. We'll catch you later. I will enjoy the soup. Have a great day, guys. Oh,